Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everyone. Come on in. Welcome to our Generosity Generation Jam session. It is our Just Ask Michael session. Very excited for this one as we are wrapping up the year. It is the year-end jam, and I am so excited about 2026. I've got some exciting things to share about that and cannot wait to get into that today. I want you to do me a favor and just be ready to write things down, be ready to take some notes. I'm going to cover today 3 things that I feel are really critical to how we think about 2026. Number 1 is, can one sentence change our life? Can one sentence? How powerful are words? How powerful are sentences? Can one sentence change our life? The second thing I want to go into is, can one person change our life? You guys already kind of know the answer to that one, don't you? Can one person change our life? And then the third one I want to cover is, can one strategy change our life? Can one strategy change our life? That is what I want to dive into today as we look ahead and dive into 2026. And just so everyone here knows, I see some new faces. I see some, I'm not going to say old faces. I'm going to say familiar faces. I see some familiar faces and I see some new faces. And I just want you to know that I am so excited about 2026 as we gear up and go in. I truly believe that 2026 is the year of the sphere. This is the year of the sphere. We are seeing TCPA become more enforced than ever before. Do not call is being more enforced than ever before, and they're doing it at individual level. They used to just go after companies because the fines were bigger, but they're just saying, hey, if we can fine them $3.5 million, we can fine an individual agent $10,000 or an individual company $10,000. So this is the year of the sphere. I truly believe that for everybody here, that this is the year you finally get your sphere in gear and you celebrate the year of the sphere. So I promise I will not rhyme much more of that. And if you're new to me, you will find that I am not funny or rhythmic or very entertaining at all. So I just want to throw that out there as a warning right out of the chute. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and then I've got a few questions for you as we go through here. And I just want to really make sure that we all go into 2026 with the right mindset about where we're going to focus our very valuable resources, our time, our energy, our money, and our effort. Where are we going to do that? It truly is the most wonderful time of the year. This is the time of the year that we get a chance to reflect and maybe relax a little, but also focus on what's ahead. So today's focus, as I said before, is, can one sentence change your life? Can one person change your life? Can one strategy change your life? And here's the thing. I'm going to give you the sentence. I'm going to give you the person. I'm going to give you the strategy. Are you okay with that? Okay, so 3 of you are okay with that. I like it. I mean, we're rocking here. I can work with that. So who am I? Just real quick for the newbies in the room, I appreciate you being here. And my one thing is referrals. You're going to find out about me. I'm the CEO of Referco. We are one of the world's foremost authorities on referrals. We help everyone from agents and lenders to Fortune 500 companies and beyond. So we have helped a lot of people develop referral systems. Howard Brinton introduced me to the world in 2005 as America's most referred real estate professional. I wrote a couple of books. Number 1 is the 7L, the 7 levels of communication, go from relationships to referrals. If you have read 7L, just put 7L in the chat window. If you have read 7L, and if you want to put your thoughts on it, there are people in this room, ladies and gentlemen, who have not read 7L. So maybe give your advice as to what you thought about the book. Should they read it? Should they look into it? And that kind of thing. Also, I am the co-author of the #1 bestseller with Hal Elrod, The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. If you have read The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents, put MM in the chat window. Put MM. And if you want to put down like your thoughts on it, what the Miracle Morning has done for you, or a morning ritual has done for you, just put MM and then put your thoughts. I'd love to see it. I'm also the father and founder of the Generosity Generation. If you are not a member of that yet, you can join at joingengen.com. I've got a QR code for you here in a second. Also, a top-rated speaker, best-selling author, trainer, and certified master coach. I've spoken with such people as Tony Robbins, George W. Bush, Magic Johnson. You basically name it in the speaking world. I've shared stage with every single one of the sharks from Shark Tank. Lots of it. I've had an amazing life. Just truly blessed with who I've had the opportunity to share the stage with and get to meet and know. And thank God for real estate for getting me out of my box. All right. You got your phone there. You can actually take a picture of this or scan this to join GenGen. You will need to answer 2 or 3 questions to get in because it is a private tribe of trust. So we do trust everybody and we don't want any bots in. And we want to be able to refer you. So there are a couple of questions for you to answer. Just take a quick picture of the screen with your phone and we're going to keep going. All right. My professional passion. This is what I have been doing for 25 years. Is I have been thinking about and creating strategies and systems around how do I get the maximum amount of referrals in the shortest amount of time without spending a dime. Like that has literally been my failing forward passion for 25 years. And that has led me to where I help business owners, specifically for the most part, realtors and lenders, build a referable business based on a foundation of love, generosity, and appreciation. And those are the foundational values, but we have like hundreds of strategies under each of those pillars of love, generosity, and appreciation. We have love strategies, we have generosity strategies, and we have appreciation strategies. And the strategy I'm going to share with you actually combines all 3. Like, that's pretty cool, right? So that's what I'm going to dive into today. And I have to warn you, I've got a little bit of a hoarse throat, so I am going to have to drink liquids during this presentation. So just bear with me when I do that. So, all right. I have 2 simple objectives today. Number 1 is I want to give massive value first. I want to give massive value. I'm literally going to tell you what I truly believe are these singular things that we need to focus our energies around in 2026. And then once I've given massive value first, and isn't that a great way to start a relationship? I mean, isn't that just a great way to start any meeting? Isn't that a great way to start any day? Is to just, you know what? I'm going to approach this meeting. I'm going to approach this presentation. I'm going to approach this relationship. I'm going to approach this day with my job is to give massive value first. I am going to give massive value first to the world and see what happens. That is the generosity first, lead with generosity mindset. And I truly, I live it and I breathe it. And it's the way I go through life. So I'm here to give massive value first. And then the second thing I want to do is show you what's next, because here's the problem with relationships, right? If there's no what's next in the relationship, that relationship is doomed to wither and die. You may want to write that down because that one concept could honestly change your life, is the what's next concept. The reason most agents don't get referrals is because they simply don't have a what's next in the relationship after the transaction is over. So guess what happens to that relationship? There's no reason to communicate. So they fail to communicate. They don't communicate. And that relationship withers and dies. Well, I'm going to be an example of showing you what's next here today, but I'm also going to show you examples of how you can provide what's next to the relationships. In fact, the most important relationships in your life. So those are my two objectives today. So goals. All right. So goals. Let's talk goals. What are your goals? Like anybody want to share goals?
We can go. This is Jackie from the little group in the Tampa, Florida market.
Hi.
Hi. We have a bunch of goals. Next year, our goal is to sell 100 properties. So that's one of
Okay.
our goals. And we also set a goal after meeting with you a couple weeks ago to do.
Oh, quit it. Quit it. Don't say the next one. Don't say the
Okay.
next one.
Okay,
You're
I won't.
ahead. You and
Okay.
William are ahead. We
Okay.
have we have people who are ahead. We have people who get it, right? Right off the bat. So, all right. So I love that you want to do 100 properties, right? So, and here's the thing, like, and I'm not going to pick on her because she knows the answer, right? But it's like everybody has set these goals where they want to, I mean, they want to do 100 transactions. They want to do 40 transactions. How many of you have a transaction goal? Right? So 8 of you. That's really good. We're seriously, like, there you go. So you have a transaction goal. How many of you have a volume goal? Which is probably honestly the more important goal, isn't it? It's one of those where we can share our transaction goal and we can share our volume goal. But the truth of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, the people have no perspective. They have no perception or perspective around your goals. So guess what? We need a better goal. We need a better goal. So why do we set goals? We set goals because we want whatever it is that we want. We want 100 transactions. We want 15 million. We want. So how many of you want more referrals in 2026? All right. So what is your referral goal? Right? So do you have a referral goal? If you don't have a referral goal, what is the likelihood of you getting more referrals in 2026? The answer is it's not very good. The answer is just not very good. So we need a referral goal. Now, I am actually going to help you create this for the sake of time. Everybody good with that? All right. So I'm just going to give it to you. I'm just going to give it to you, and then we will dive into more, right? So if you want more referrals, we need to have a referral goal. What if we could create that referral goal in a way where we could share it with everybody, right? So we want more referrals in 2026. We do. So do you have a referral goal? Well, whether you do or not, you're going to have at the end of today. Can one sentence change your life? Ladies and gentlemen, the sentence I am about to share with you changed my life. It changed my life. It changed my life because I went from thinking that I had to ask for referrals to getting referrals. Think about that for a second. I thought you had to ask for referrals to get referrals, and man, I was wrong. Instead of asking, I would just simply state a sentence, and it would result in not only referrals, but it would result in referral partners. So here's the sentence. I know you're like, Maher's going right to it today. He's not belaboring this thing. He's just hitting it over the head, right? So the sentence that you want to share the most in 2026. Now, I'm going to throw a caveat in here in a second, but we need to follow the same general rule. So the sentence is my weekly referral goal. Now, I've cut out the part where I talk to you about the 411, right? Where you have an annual goal, you need to break it down to a quarterly goal, you need to break it down to a monthly goal, you need to break it down to a weekly goal. And I'm just going to say, for most of you, if you got 52 referrals in 2026, it would be a good year. That I'm just assuming that right now. Now, the caveat that I was going to say is that I want you to know is some of you are getting more than that or want more than that, and you need to adjust accordingly But I also want you to know you have got to keep this 2-to-1 ratio between the giving and the receiving. So now I will tell you that full on, when I was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years in the business, my weekly referral goal was to give 10 referrals and receive 5 referrals because I was getting 500, 600, 700 referrals a year, right? So I adjusted it to what was real. But if you're just getting started with all of this, this is a very doable goal. This is a very doable goal, and it will suffice for most of you. So my weekly referral goal is to give 2 referrals and receive 1 referral. Now, what is the power in that goal? Did everybody write that down? Everybody write that down. Take that screenshot. What is the power in that goal? Where is the power at with that goal? Yeah, for one thing, it definitely manifests. Now, Tanya said give 5 and get 2. I would just say that if you want to get 2 every week, I would say give 4. I would say give 4 and get 2. Here's why. And trust me on this. Like, do you think I spent some freaking time on this? Like mentally, people can figure out a 2-to-1 ratio faster than almost any. The only one better is a 10-to-1 ratio. People can find out a 10-to-1 ratio faster than they can a 2-to-1. But 2-to-1 is a really, really powerful thing. So if you really want to get 1 referral, then you want to give 2. If you want 2 a week, then you would say give 4. And I want you to know, your realtors and your lenders and your networkers here, you're the most giving people on the planet. You're going to win. The 4-to-2, the 4 doesn't matter, because the honest to goodness truth is, if you're a realtor, you're going to give 8-to-1. You're going to give 6 to 8 to 1. That's what all the research shows. When you do 1 transaction, that 1 referral you got in to do the transaction, you now recommend or referred them to a lender, to an insurance person, to an inspector, maybe 2 or 3 inspectors, a contractor, a warranty company, a title company, a closing attorney. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 6 to 8 or more to 1 if we're in real estate. And lenders, you do the same thing pretty similarly. So now, the power in it, so there's a lot of power to it, right? So one power to it is that when I say my weekly referral goal is, let's just say I'm with a financial planner, and the financial planner says they want to get $1 billion under their management in 2026. Okay. I say, congratulations. Do I have any idea of how to help them get to $1 billion under management? I really don't, right? And I'm pretty savvy. Then they ask me, the financial planner says, so what are your goals? My weekly referral goal is to give 2 referrals and receive 1 referral. That's my goal. What does the financial planner think? Help me out here.
They start to think of people to refer to you, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the ideal scenario. I think let's go click, 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 right? And that's their brain clicking, right? What is the first thing that clicks in the financial planner's mind when I go, my weekly referral goal is to give 2 referrals and receive 1 referral?
You're giving more than you're asking for.
I'm a giver. I'm a giver. Now, I mean, could you imagine walking into a networking event or talking to somebody and going, and just remember, I'm a giver. We can't say we're a giver. That's what's awesome about a giver, is that we can only that we're a giver. We can only show that we're a giver. So and here's the other thing. How many of you would rather network, partner, hang out with a giver than a taker? So we're instantly more attractive. Would you guys all say that by saying this goal, it is saying and showing that we're a giver, and we instantly become more attractive? Everybody good there? All right. So what else is powerful about that goal?
Well, if you say that it's 2-to-1, they're going to go, oh, well, heck, if I give you 1, I probably get 2 back.
Boom! That is it. Like they instantly, and here's the thing, people are selfish by nature. I mean, if you could really reword all your marketing and all your communication and all your messaging to tap into the selfishness of human beings, you'd be multi millionaire, right? They selfishly think that I want to be referred by this person. Well, I want to be referred. Well, here's the thing. How do they get referrals? From us. They refer us. Now, here's the other thing. What does that financial planner know is important to me? Now, here's the thing. What if the financial planner shared with me, well, Michael, what's your goal in 2026? I want to play golf more in 2026. Right? Now, have you heard that as a goal? Just so you know, I have coaching clients and one of their goals is to golf more in 2026. And of course, I asked, well, how much did you golf in 2025? And they're like, I don't know. Well, it's going to be really hard to know if you golf more when you don't know how much you golf now. So let's just start tracking how often you golf and look to beat it on a monthly basis if we can, right? But it's one of those, like, what's important to me if I share with you that I want to be a scratch golfer in 2026, right? What's important to me? Golf, right? If I say I want to have $1 billion under management in 2026, what's important to me? Money, right? Which for a financial planner, I kind of like the thought. But if I say my weekly referral goal is to give 2 referrals and receive 1 referral, what's important to me? What's the most important thing to me?
Giving referrals.
Not only giving, but what? Like, let's narrow it down to one word. What is the most important thing in my business life?
People.
It's referrals. It's referrals. It's referrals, right? I have automatically, ladies and gentlemen, do not miss this. I have automatically created a referral relationship with this person. Now, you might think, well, financial planner, that makes sense. But let's say I'm hanging out with single mom Sandy, and single mom Sandy and I are sharing a cup of coffee. We have about 15 minutes together at Starbucks, and we're having coffee, and it's just like we're talking about what we're excited about in 2026. And single mom talks about, getting her kids in baseball, and, baseball's coming around, and they got baseball tryouts in January and February, which is crazier. By the way, this is a real conversation. Tanny McLeod knows what I'm talking about here. Like, baseball in freaking Georgia is nuts. I'm just saying. But it's probably that way in Florida as well. And I know a lot of you are from Florida. But it's one of, and it's like, I hope my Timmy makes the team and that kind of thing. And it's like, oh, that's cool, and then she goes, well, what are you most excited about in 2026? And I just go, well, my goals are what I'm most excited about. It's my weekly referral goal is to give 2 referrals and receive 1 referral. And Sandy's like, well, that's cool. You always seem to be giving me referrals for, I had problems with my TV and I needed a new TV, and you had the perfect guy to install the TV. And I go, that's exactly it, right? My weekly referral goal is to give 2 referrals and receive 1 referral. And then she goes, well, who are you looking for? Who are you looking for? Ladies, I'm getting chills replaying this conversation because it's like part of me is like, it works. It works. It works. It works. It works. We just we went from a casual conversation to a referral conversation in 30 seconds. What if I told you the key to your 2026 is having more referral conversations? Do you want more referrals in 2026? Have more referral conversations. That does not mean asking for referrals. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Generosity Generation. We do not verbally accost people by asking for referrals. We do not do it. We don't. Now, do I ask for referrals? The answer is yes. A lot of people are like, well, Michael Maher doesn't ask for, well, that's not the complete answer. The answer is I don't ask verbally in somebody's face. I would never ask Sandy directly for referrals. In fact, I turned the conversation so much around, she was asking me who she could refer me. That's what I do. And when I ask for referrals, they have 100% freedom to not answer, which means through digital forms, paper forms, and places they can write or type the referral or not. They have no pressure on them. So just to clarify. All right, we're good. Remember the caveat is that if you're doing maybe 100 transactions a year, you may want to go for 200 transactions, right? Or 200 referrals. That's pretty much what you can see as a ratio a lot of times as they'll turn out. So 200 is basically 4 a week in. So you would want to do, my weekly referral goal is to give 8 and to receive 4. So that would be your, if you are looking for 100 transactions. Everybody good? Just keep the 2-to-1 ratio. All right, we're going to keep firing up. Can one person change your life? And here's the thing. We know the answer is right. I mean, if you're married or divorced or married again, you know what I'm talking about. The truth is, we know the answer is yes, right? We know that building better relationships is the key, but the world tells us to build more relationships. But the problem is we have more relationships than ever before through social media, the internet, and the ease of meeting people today. But perhaps we don't have better relationships or referral generating relationships. We have heard of avatars, creating your avatar, which is essentially your target market. We've heard of farming neighborhoods. We've heard of micro events. We've heard about segmenting the database. We've heard about all these different things, but it's like who is the who? We know we should be giving value to our database and our sphere, but we also have this thing that kicks in is if you can't do it for all, don't do it at all. You guys remember that from school, right? You have 8 pieces of gum and you have 24 kids in your class. Can you share your 8 pieces of gum with your friends in the class? The teacher would say, no, if you don't have enough for everyone, you can't share with anyone. And we kind of have that going on with our database a little bit. If we have 2,500 in our database, it's expensive to send everybody a football schedule, a baseball schedule, and a calendar, right? But something that I have discovered is that there is a group of people that we need to segment out, we need to focus on. And honestly, if these are the only people we focus on, we can have a burgeoning, beautiful referral-based business. So on whom do we focus our very valuable resources, money, energy, effort, and time? And we know we need to grade our database, but what criteria? How do we break down the people that we're going to focus on in 2026, right? Do we do it by clients? Do we do it by referral sources? Michael's always talking about referral sources. Do we talk about like the neighborhood? Do we just farm a neighborhood? Do we focus it on leads, right? These are people who have raised their hand and put maybe a true email address in the form, right? Maybe. Networking allies, a certain profession. Do we go to a niche with a certain profession like divorce attorneys or probate or whatever it may be? And I'm going to say that the answer is no to all of those. There is one criteria. Is it criterion if it's one? One criterion, one thing that we want to focus on in 2026. We need to grade our sphere by one criteria or one criterion to start. We need to grade our sphere by energy. By energy. We need to focus on the people that we like, essentially, that feed our energy, that are good people, nice people. Now, are some of those clients? The answer is yes. And for some of you, you can put all of your clients into this group. You can if you want. And something I'll tell you about clients, especially realtors, is you guys have all experienced this too. We have a client who's pretty uptight and stressed during a transaction. And we have this certain opinion of them because they were uptight. They were maybe short with us. They yelled at us. Maybe they got mad at us. Maybe they got frustrated, right? So we have this image of them. And I want you to know something is that people aren't always like that. Don't think that a person is a real estate transaction person. The person is only going through a real estate transaction for a short period of time. They are typically different outside of that window, and I would give them a shot. That's what I'm saying, because I have discovered way too often that the jerk during the transaction is not a jerk outside the transaction, much to my surprise, right? So it is one of those where stress can change the way people, how people react to it and that kind of thing. So, but we're going to find the people in our world who are like energetic. We like them, we know them, they like us, they know us, and we're going to start with that group of people, right? So I'll give you a quick way to do that. Okay. And Tanya McLeod's here. By the way, Tanya is episode 212 of Referrals podcast. If you want more on this, I made her do it, kicking and screaming. She hates me still to this day because I made her do it. But you're going to go through your phone and you are going to simply write down the people who feed your energy essentially. Now, you can actually go through all your people. You can print out your contacts and go through them. Now, this is how I did it is I'm a paper guy though. I come from that era and I printed out everybody. Yes, I would plant trees. I planted lots of trees, people. I have fed the paper. I'm good. But it's one of those where I want you to know I would print it out and then I would do this. And you guys can all take this idea, write it down and run with it. Is I would look at the person's name and I would either put a plus, 0, or a minus. So the plus is somebody that has that I feel a good, and here's the thing. Sometimes I would just see the name and I was like, I can't really remember, but I have a good feeling. Anybody ever had that happen? Like a phone call that comes in and you're like, you don't really remember the name, but you're like, oh wait, but there's something good about this name, right? Plus, and then a 0 is a neutral. This is somebody that you just don't know all that well, or you literally, like, you look at the name and you're like, how the heck did this person get into my phone, right? But it's a 0. Then you have a negative, and these are just the people that you don't want to hang out with. These are people who you see the name and you kind of know, and it's just like they're negative Nelly on the internet or social media, or they were never very nice to you, or they don't respect you, or whatever it may be, or they're whatever, belligerent. So, which is the word of the day from Max's vocabulary words. All right. So then we go through that list and we look at the pluses. And this is always fun. We look at the pluses and there are going to be people that feed us energy, that literally are lifters in our life. We need to do something to see these people. We're going to put an X through the plus. So if you put an X through a plus sign, it looks like an asterisk or a multiplication sign. And ladies and gentlemen, these people are our multipliers. That's where we get the term multipliers. This is a person that multiplies our life and our energy. And then if you just feel like it's a plus person, you leave them as a plus. All right. Then you've got your neutral. You leave your neutrals as neutrals. Now we look at our minuses, right? And they're just negative. And then there are people, I'm sorry to say, but I'm a realist, is that there are some people in our life and in our phone who are just toxic, ladies and gentlemen. They just really bring you down, drag you down. And what we want to do with the minus sign is we're going to put a dot above and below the minus sign. So now it looks like a division sign. And ladies and gentlemen, these are the divisors, right? The divisors, we are toxic people. Those are toxic relationships. And we honestly need to either delete them or absolutely minimize the amount of time that we spend with them. Now, if you look and do this list and a divisor is your spouse, I'm sorry. I love you and that hurts. I get it. If it's your 16-year-old son, which I would really understand that right now. I'm just saying, it's been a tough week. It's finals week. He hates me. I love him. It's all good. Is that too personal? So, all right. Some of you know what I'm talking about. All right. Good. Everybody good on grading by energy. And Tanya's episode is she's graded by energy. Kind of what do we do next with them? Right. And that's what I want to go into now. Everybody good? All right. So, we now know that one sentence can change our life. We now know that one person, and that one person is in this energy group. that one person can change your life. Now, can one strategy change your life? And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go through this fast because the people who have been with Jen and seen me speak, they know the freaking answer. And when I say they know the answer, they definitely know the answer. But I want to hone in on something ultra specific at the end. So I am going to go pretty fast here. If you have questions, write them down, and I do have a question time at the end here. So, after doing this for over 25 years, what do we know? Cold callers are a dying breed. Calling FSBOs, calling expired, all they're doing is getting in trouble, right? Who answers the phone anyway? But it's harder and harder to do expireds and FSBOs legally. DNC this, TCPA that. I had a TCPA warning in the very beginning of this, a DNC warning, an AI warning, like all kinds of warnings. So door knocking is a lot of time and effort for low results. Marketing and advertising can work, but it's so expensive. Even the best advertisers in the world, best of the best, said 50% of it works, but we aren't sure which 50%. I don't want to like bet my money on something like that. Relationships are the answer, but we have discovered that emailing market reports or equity reports doesn't work. You can really only do it once a year, and is it really being appreciated? Is it relevant to them? And then pop buys, right? Are there a lot of time, energy, and effort with really low results, right? There are a lot of time, a lot of energy. And are they really appreciated? And are they really items of value if we have to deliver them as an unpaid delivery driver? So wouldn't it be great to know that the item of value is really of value? And how can we actually determine that? Well, I'm going to give you that answer in a second. So phone calls alone aren't enough. Sorry, D2. I look in my calendar and it's the week to do S and U, and I have 1,500 S's and I have 400 U's. I have 1,900 people to call this week. That doesn't work, right? It's just too many. I can't call everyone. One-on-ones are very time, and this is the guy who wrote 7 Levels of Communication, and we all know that one-to-ones are the very top of the pyramid, but they are very time and energy intensive, and they're impossible to scale. A one-to-one is a one-to-one, and that's the problem with pop buys too, is they just don't scale. How do we scale pop buys? I'm actually going to tell you the answer to that too. Referrals are the past, present, but most importantly, and I truly believe this is what everybody's finding out, it is the future. In an AI world, we all know HI, which is human interaction, is the solution. The person who is going to win, the realtor, lender, salesperson that's going to win over the next 5 to 10 years is the one who masters human interaction versus AI, artificial intelligence. I truly believe that. While they're off studying AI, you're studying HI, and you're going to win because you know what? HI has the money. Period. People have the money. Predictable referrals are the best, especially with something that is leverageable and scalable. Could you imagine predictable referrals with something that only maybe cost you a couple of hours a quarter? Couple hours a quarter, and it's leverageable and it's scalable? So there are a lot of ways that we can communicate with people. You agree with that? We can direct mail people, we can email them, we can Facebook. People are talking about doing an email newsletter starting in January. It's like, really? Really? Like, are your people demanding an email newsletter from you? Have they asked about it? Like, please email newsletter me, right? Maybe, maybe not. The single best thing you could write in a hand, the best video you could ever do, best text message, best phone call, best thing, the number one single best reason to contact your database. Like, here's the thing. Like, what if the best direct mail piece wasn't a market update? What if we knew what it was? And what if your direct mail piece was also the focus of your email and the focus of your private message and the focus of what if all of these, what if the message of all your mediums, right? All your media of communication, what if all of them were the same thing? How cool would that be? right? And it's true. The best direct mail piece, email, Facebook message, phone call, text message, text video, audio text, audio video, whatever you want to do. The best of the best, the single best phone call you can make to your database is an invitation to an event. It is. It is an invitation to an event. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an invitation to an event. Even if they don't attend, and many of them won't attend, and I want you to know it's okay. They're still going to refer you because everyone wants to be invited. And some people want to be invited just so they can say, no, they're not coming. And that's okay. I'm one of those people, right? So the secret to maximizing referrals is events. Most amount of referrals in the least amount of time without spending a dime. Oh, wait, we can actually do this and not spend a dime as well? Yeah, we can actually make money doing it. So the one thing you need to do right now to get referrals is to do an event, but not just an event. We need to do an event for your top people. Do you see how like the sentence, the person, and the strategy are all coming together now, right? So the answer is events. The easy answer is events. Simple answer is events. The right answer, lead generation answer is events. The profitable answer, practical answer, loving, generous, appreciative answer. The leverageable, scalable answer. The answer to Ninja's flow, right? They want you to be in flow with your database. It's events. The answer to Buffini's Popeyes is events, right? Instead of going to them, they come to you. What a concept. That means what you're offering is of value. The answer to Bold's conversations, you want to do 100 conversations a week. What do we talk about? What if we are inviting them to an event? The answer to MREAs, 8x8 and 36 touch, is events, right? What is an event? It's 7 or 8 touches in 8 weeks to invite, confirm, and get them to the event. But the difference with this touch is they're demanding the touch. The people who are coming to the event, they want to know the details. They want to know about parking. They want to know how much it costs. They want to know all these details. They're expecting you to communicate versus what most of 8x8 touch and 36 touch are things that they weren't asking for. The answer to Tom Ferry's video. Tom Ferry's been on video since video was created. And guess what? The answer is events. Gary Vaynerchuk's social media. It's events. Gary Keller's one thing. The one thing such that by doing it, everything else is easier and or unnecessary. It's events. Events are the ultimate lead generation technique. Seth Godin's Purple Cow. How do you stand out in your area or your marketplace? You stand out by doing fun events. Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, right? What's the one strategy such that so that everything else will disappear and you'll make more money doing it? Guess what? You can actually make money making money. You can actually make money lead generating. And it's the only one I know of is events. Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. You want to become more influential? Become known as the person who hosts events. Sun Tzu's The Art of War, right? I can tell you a long story about why military strategy goes into this event marketing strategy. The answer to my book is events. The answer to 2,500 plus business leadership, marketing, so on and so forth, it's events. The answer to a Bible-based business is events. What would Jesus do? What did Jesus do? Right? He did events. They spread word with events. In fact, to this day, on Sundays, people get together at an event to celebrate, to honor, to worship. The answer, my friend, is events. It's events. The one strategy that can change your life is an event for your top people. So let's do the who, what, where, when, how, right? Who? Top people graded by energy. Okay, that's the people that can change our life. The people that are most likely to help us are those people that we like and like us. The type, it's small, it's intimate, private, exclusive, fun. We're only going to be able to identify maybe 75 to 150 of those people. So these events are going to be much smaller. What? Now, this is me loading up with my experience, is a happy hour, wine tasting, or an I love you latte. So the what is a gathering around like drinks and beer, or around wine, or I love you latte, which is afternoon coffee. Where should we do it? Local coffee shop, wine shop, restaurant, or bar. When? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm even going to tell you the most important event you might do in 2026 is the week of Valentine's Day. If you listen to Lawrence Yun, if you listen to Gary Keller's Economist with KW, if you listen to the market reports, if you listen to the jobs report, if you see the stock report, what you discover is that there is probably no better week to ramp up and be in flow with your database than the week of Valentine's Day. So January, guess what you'll be doing? You'll be calling people to invite them to your Valentine's Day event. What do you be doing in February? You're going to be inviting and confirming. You're going to be communicating with the top people in your database, perhaps more than you ever have at the most opportune time in the history of real estate, lending, or business. Interest rates just went down. They're going to stay down. There's just too many good things. People have been waiting on the sidelines and they're about to come off the sidelines. So, how do you do this event? I'm going to show you how week by week starting January 6th. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. How much? What if I could show you how to make money doing it to where you don't spend a dime of your own money to host the event? More on that coming. Here's what's the one strategy? Get your event on your calendar for the week of Valentine's Day. You can do like a wind down Wednesday or a happy hour on Wednesday, February 11th. Thursday is February 12th. You could do a thirsty Thursday. You could do an afternoon I love you latte or thanks a latte, like a thanks on Thursday, right? Thursday thanks a latte. Friday, you can do a TGIF happy hour. You can do a Freaky Friday wine down, wine on Fridays. That could be a TGIF, or whatever it may be. So that is the week. And then of course, Saturday, February 14th is Valentine's Day. Here we go. All right. So the one thing I really want you to know is people say, all right, I'm in on events. I want to do an event. Or they think about all the problems of an event, like it might be a lot of work or people may not show up or what. And we're going to conquer all of those. And trust me on that. I'm an introvert and I have been very worried about people not showing up. And then all of a sudden, most of my problems have been too many people showing up, like today, interestingly enough, on our Zoom account. But you want to have 6 or 7 weeks. So Event Mastery VIP edition is 7 weeks. So that's kind of the perfect number of weeks. So who do you invite? I've already talked about that. You're going to invite the top people you know. The power is in the invitation. I'm going to help you create an invitation and actually go over it. I have a surprise for a lot of you. You people, Jesse, and some of you have been in Referral Mastery Academy for years. I can't wait to show you some of the surprises in Event Mastery VIP edition because we've got some surprise for you when it comes to the invitation. Confirmation Mastery, we will cover. By the way, all these books are included in Event Mastery VIP edition. Couple of strategies you can do with that first, or with that. Please understand what we are doing is we are going to drive the energy up in 2 places. And it's actually 3 places, but 2 of them are the most important. Number 1 is we're going to drive your energy up. You're going to have a purpose and a vision and a mission for the first 6 weeks of 2026. You're going to be on mission, right? And so your energy is going to be up. But maybe more importantly, where the energy is going to be up is going to be your top people. Your top people. Because what happens when it comes to an event? You have top people who love you. Literally, they love you, who have never met these other people who love you. What's going to happen when 2 people who like you meet each other? Who are they going to talk about? Since you're the one putting the event on, they're going to talk about you. Oh, I love Denise. And it's like, oh, I love Denise too, right? And they're confirming she's wonderful. Look at this charity event. We brought in 30 coats today. Isn't that awesome? Great stuff. Yeah, I love it. And great. What do you do? And they start their own conversation. But when they part that conversation, that like plus like equals 2 loves. You now have 2 people who are emboldened and they are empowered to speak higher of you and refer you more willingly than they ever did before because of social proof. Social proof kicks in. That's the problem with a pop by. You go by, they love you, right? And then you go to the next house and they love you. But the problem is the 2 people's houses that you went to, they never met each other. So you don't get the power of social proof. So, all right. And of course, we're going to dive deep into the fortunes and the follow-up. And I cover follow-up mastery in week 7. So there's 5 sequences as I talked about. I'm also going to show you how to get sponsors. Now, realize this is a smaller, more intimate event. Here's the thing. Like the most anybody here is going to get is 100. Now, listen, that's one person maybe. Okay. Most of you are going to get 50, but let's say it's 100 and it's a coffee. What's the average price of a coffee? It's only $5 or so. So that's $500 to do this event. $500. Now, do you think you could find a couple of sponsors who would pay half that, 250? Most likely you're going to be able to find that. You can do 5 by 100, you can do 2 by 250, you can do 1 by 500. But the bottom line is I'm going to show you exactly what to say and how to get those sponsors. So guess what? You are now making money. You literally, the event is, by the way, and I want you to know, I had several events early on in my career where I didn't have any sponsors attached, and I was more than willing to pay $500 to host this event because I would get 5 to 15 referrals from it. And trust me, we're talking the week of Valentine. This is when the people come out of hibernation and they start thinking about putting their house on the market and start to think about moving. They start to think about downsizing. They're getting ready to be empty nesters. They're whatever it may be. The best time to sell is in the spring, most places. All right. I'm also going to cover marketing mastery during this. One of those is going to be really cool. All right. So we've got all kinds of testimonials. Cynthia Bear with KW. She got 100. I hate to even share these 148 referrals at one event. And, the next event she did, she got 207 and 35 of those were outgoing to sponsors. Right. So, and by the way, those are documented referrals, which is what you're going to have at your event. Charity mastery, lots of great stuff. Right. So you can listen to some of these stories. Episode 382 on Referrals podcast is Kelsey Clark and how she tripled her referrals in a year in one day with one strategy. Social media mastery will be covered, video marketing mastery, and of course, referral mastery. I'm going to show you how to get referrals before, during, and after the event. So that's the package. So what is Event Mastery VIP Edition? It is me helping you step by step doing a profitable referral generating event. It starts Tuesday, January 6th. I'm going to personally coach you live every Tuesday and Friday for 7 weeks. Live. Sessions are 60 to 90 minutes. By the way, for January 6th, make sure you block off 90 minutes because that's how the first one goes. It just goes a little bit longer because people have more questions, and I want to make sure I answer all your questions. We will get in depth. We're talking event mastery with planning, inviting, confirming, hosting, and following. And I don't care if you are brand new in the business or if you have done 25 years of 10 events a year, you will get strategies and little nuances that you'd never thought of before. It is a simple system. Run the play, get referrals. How much is it? I know you didn't ask that, but actually some people did ask it in the chat window, but I'm glad you asked. All right. So normally this is what the retail value of what we do. It's about $15,000. If all it did was get you one referral, would it be worth it? If all it did was get you a few sponsors for your next event, would it be worth it? Right. And for those of you that are bigger teams, what if you had another profit center that was also a lead generation funnel and it was your events company, right? So for those of you that are thinking about it, it's a good deal at 15,000 because one commission pays for it all, but it's a good deal at 8, 10, 15, but it's an absolute no brainer at 2,000, 1997, which is the regular price. Well, you can get started today, not for 2,000 or even 1,000. You can actually take Event Mastery for just $397 if you use the code JAM at VIPEventmastery.com or scan the QR code that is on the right of the screen. Or you can join Referral Mastery Academy, which is our monthly subscription program, and not just get Event Mastery for January, February, and so on. We have 2 masterminds that are live each month. We also have a lot of bonuses and referral resources and stuff like that by joining the Referral Mastery Academy. So you have those 2 options. You can just do Event Mastery for $397. use the code JAM to get 600 off, or you can join Referral Mastery Academy and get started today for just $99 a month. Okay. You can go to the link in the chat or click on the QR code to the right. The link in the chat is vipeventmastery.com. That is not a typo. This is $397. If you paid $997 or $1997 before, don't be mad at me. Just realize I'm in the Christmas spirit. I'm here to give, right? All right. If you're our first enroll, you will get a book also, which I have right here. Boop, right? If you join, you will get this so you can create your own little 3-ring binder and so on and so forth. So let me get to the end here and I will get to your questions. I see questions. All right. All right. So Danny Barron was also featured on MREA podcast 111. If for those of you that are looking for other podcasts, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent podcast is awesome. Jason does a great job with it. Episode 111, Danny Barron basically talks about like how he did his events and what happened with it. And then, yeah, I mean, just events are the best, bottom line. All right. So here's what it looks like. Planning Mastery is the first week, January 6th through the 9th. Invitation Mastery, the 13th through the 16th. Sponsor Mastery, that's right, we're going to get sponsors, 20 through the 23rd. Charity Mastery, and we're going to go over the referral system of the door prizes, the 27th through the 30th. We're going to teach you how to confirm and kind of finalize things that next week. And then Event Mastery, you'll do your event the 9th through the 13th. We do have a Monday session in there, by the way, because I'm speaking on the 10th in Pensacola, Florida. Follow-up Mastery on week 7, and I'll also go into how to get referrals after the event on February 17th. So please put those into your schedule. Make sure you've got them planned out. Yes, these are all live. Yes, they are all with me. Yes, they are recorded in case you miss one. All right. So get started today. Please do not ask me to take any more money off than $397. It's $397, period. Or just join RMA. Join RMA. So in summary, can one sentence change your life? The answer is yes, right? That sentence is your weekly referral goal. You literally have this written down, put it in your PS, put it on Facebook, like own it and track it. Track your referrals every week. And how many are you giving? How many you're getting? Don't get discouraged when it's 8-1. It's going to be 8-1, and you're going to realize how big of a giver you really are. Can one person change your life? The truth is, the person that's most likely to change your professional life is somebody that is a personal relationship of yours, somebody that is close to you. One of the top people we know will become a super ambassador and get you like a referral a month or 2 referrals a month. Can one strategy change your life? Yes. An event with our top people, our VIPs, ambassadors, MVPs, whatever you want to call it, is definitely that strategy. Well, bottom line, everybody, happy holidays. I appreciate you. Merry Christmas. And this is the last jam of 2025. And we are looking forward to starting 2026 with a bang. I cannot wait for what we have in store for you. Just gets better and better every year, and just enjoy providing it. And I just enjoy the success stories more than anything. So keep telling us success stories, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah to everybody. And we will see you next time. Love you. Appreciate you.